The Fabelmans, which sounds like a rejected CBeebies series, tells the story of a, family called the Fabelmans, primarily focusing on the eldest son Sammy, played by Gabriel LaBelle. Sammy loves movies and aspires to be a filmmaker, much to the disapproval of his father Bert, played by Paul Dano, who views it as little more than a hobby. However, his mother Mitzi, played by Michelle Williams, encourages him to pursue his passion, leading to Sammy chasing his dream to direct movies, all while his family starts to crumble around him. I wonder where Spielberg Steven got the idea for this film.
You moron!
As you can probably guess if you've been following our journey down Spielberg Lane this month, the movie is actually a semi-autobiographical retelling of Stevie Boy's childhood. His plan to make a movie out of his life story actually dates all the way back to 1999, with a script titled I'll Be Home written by his sister Anne. The project never got off the ground, however, as Spielberg was nervous about depicting a subject that was so close to home for him. My big fear is that my mum and dad won't like it and will think it's an insult and won't share my loving yet critical point of view about what it was like to grow up with them. It's so close to my life and so close to my family. I prefer to make films that are more analogous, but a literal story about my family will take a lot of courage. I still think I'll make personal movies even if they do look like big commercial popcorn films.
You liar! You backstabbing liar!
However, despite Steven's concerns, his mum and dad were actually really excited about the idea and would continue to pester their son about making the movie all the way until their deaths in 2017 and 2020 respectively. Okay, just the image of the Spielberg sitting down for dinner while he's being pestered by his parents to make a movie is just hilarious.
They're full of shit.
The project wasn't seriously considered again until 2004 when Spielberg was making Munich in Hungary. He told screenwriter Tony Kushner about his idea, who loved it and even agreed to help co-write the script with him. The script wouldn't begin serious work, however, until the pair re-teamed for West Side Story and ended up producing a 90-page story outline. This outline would eventually develop into a full script when production was shut down during the COVID-19 pandemic. The entire thing was written in only 2 months, and Spielberg would even show his drafts to his sister in order to ensure that he could incorporate their experiences and ensure that he was being respectful to his parents' memory.
I don't want to disappoint you.
When casting the main character, over 2,000 actors auditioned, eventually landing on Gabriel LaBelle, whilst Michelle Williams was offered the role of the mother after Spielberg saw her performance in Blue Valentine. And to be fair, they got the right kid. He does resemble a young Spielberg quite a bit. And Paul Dano is a spitting image of his dad.
No, I don't.
Filming began in July 2021 and wrapped in September, but it proved to be an emotional experience for the director, and he would often burst into tears on set due to reliving the experiences of his childhood.
It's pretty incredible.
The Fabelmans was released on November the 11th, 2022, and wasn't much of a financial success, only grossing $45 million at the worldwide box office. However, the film was met with universal critical acclaim, being instantly hailed as one of the best films that year. It was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, but sadly walked away empty-handed, though it did win 2 Golden Globes for Best Drama and Best Director, and the movie was instantly regarded as one of Spielberg's best and most personal offerings. And they do capture a lot of real-life events that genuinely did happen. Sammy goes to watch The Greatest Show on Earth at the cinema, which is his inspiration to pursue filmmaking. Him making a student makeshift war movie. His uncle, played by Leonard's dad, Judd Hirsch, is an ex-circus performer. Sammy quits filmmaking altogether due to his issues at home. He meets up with famous director John Ford, played by David Lynch at the end. All happened, and he gives some hilarious advice.
When the horizon's at the bottom, it's interesting. When the horizon's at the top, it's interesting. When the horizon's in the middle, it's boring as shit.
And then they even deliver a hilarious fourth wall joke to end the film, correcting their own shot. His mother genuinely did have an affair with her husband's best friend, who in this movie is played by Seth Rogen. You know, after watching all of these movies, I fully expected his father to be negatively portrayed and not his mother. I mean, his dad is completely reasonable in this.
They're precisely engineered toys. You can play with them when you've learned to treat them with respect.
I do respect them. I love them.
I know you do, but you can't just love something. You also have to take care of it, right?
He's quite charming at points too. He's not a bad guy. But he helps him with his dream.
$100 for a hobby?
It's not a hobby, Dad.
If you spent half the time on algebra that you spend on these movies,
I hate algebra. Why are you...
For the most part. But his mother has an affair, and when he finds out, he becomes distant from her. But weirdly, when he confronts her about it, he agrees to keep it a secret for her. What the hell? The thing is, Michelle Williams gives such a great performance that she somehow still makes me like her despite what she's done. How the hell's she done that?
Despite my countless faults, I'm not ruining everything for everyone. I'm gonna not be selfish.
Bit late for that, love. They also did genuinely get a pet monkey in real life too.
Benny,
His name's Benny.
who she named after her fuck buddy for some reason.
I don't want to see a psychiatrist.
Oh, I think you do. Spielberg did admit that growing up, he always blamed his father for the divorce, which is why dads and fatherhood were so negatively portrayed in his movies. But as he got older, he came to realise that it wasn't entirely his fault, which is why he's portrayed the way he is in this. Even though my mother was like an older sister to me, I kind of put her up on a pedestal. And for some reason, it was easier for me to blame my dad than it was to blame someone who I'd already exalted.
I know what I want for Hanukkah.
A hug and a loving father. What also really happened was Spielberg being the victim of anti-Semitic bullying.
He doesn't like Jews.
Nobody likes Jews.
I wasn't drooling at her. Then apologize to her for killing Christ.
Wait, no! Then again, I think having the Riddler as a father would mess anyone up. I mean, he explains film in the most boring way possible.
There's a big machine called a projector. Inside, there's a big bright light, and it projects photographs of clowns and acrobats.
And elephants.
Projecting means it sends them out.
Happy things.
Happy things like light from a huge flashlight. But these photographs move past the light really fast.
While his mother's first suggestion upon seeing a tornado was taking a baby towards it, and then taking all of the kids on a nice drive into the fucking thing.
Of course it's safe. I'm your mother.
But how bloody big is this cinema? There's 1 million people in it! The 50s, where traumatizing your child with a movie about murder and death was no big deal. I will admit, I was pretty skeptical when Seth Rogen appeared, but he's actually a lot of fun in this. He is quite charming and entertaining.
Know much you loved using it for your war picture, so I figured you ought to have one of your own. It's, bon voyage, see you later, alligator. I believe in you, present from your Uncle Benny.
Most of the time.
You hear how the rising arpeggios lift up the sad notes? It's in F minor, but your mom makes it sound so alive.
She makes it sound like she's playing a typewriter.
Oh, no.
It is really charming as we see him begin making films with his mates.
The baby scorpions are called scorplings.
Oh hey, it's Riff, the intimidating leader of the dangerous New York City gang. But apparently Spielberg just copied every movie he ever watched. I thought this movie was about Spielberg, not George Lucas. It's cool to see a student film, but my question is how the hell did he manage to get all of his mates to star in a movie and they're all actually good? Do you know how difficult that is? It is really charming to see everyone blown away by his special effects, and the movie does a great job portraying his genius mind using low-budget production to his advantage.
How'd you make it look like the guns were really firing? I did it with pins.
Yeah, I poked holes in the film with pins.
The movie is also quite inspiring when it comes to fighting doubt and chasing your dreams no matter how unlikely they seem. There's a lot of intense music as he pieces everything together about his mother's affair, and it's great. No dialogue needed, and it's such a powerful moment. To the point he can't even enjoy showing everyone the movie. You can tell he's uncomfortable because of what he's just discovered. He also portrays the difficulty of working with people who are a complete pain in the ass.
So you want me to, like, act and stuff? Yeah. Like I'm sort of sad or something because my whole platoon. Right, your platoon.
But it also shows how good a director he is dealing with those people. Even at other premieres, he struggles to focus and he just can't get the affair out of his head. Michelle's performance is great as she subtly realises that her son probably knows about them. The acting is great in this. But the awkward editing is back.
Why are you being such a little shit to me, David? Hell, I'm your mother!
I wish you weren't!
Spielberg did make this, right? When she's shown the tape of her affair, it's put together really well because we don't even see it. We just get a slow zoom in on her face and that tells us everything we need to know as it fills with shame and guilt. Even if she clearly fucks up her lines and they decide to keep it in anyway.
It's not your calling. Is that why you can't respect it?
And he keeps up the trend with this insane transition. The Sammy performance is incredible. He's clearly depressed and that is what leads him back to his love of filmmaking. He uses the films to escape reality and to deal with the grief. I mean, despite being pissed at him, his sister still sits and watches his film with him. His movies bring the family together.
I mean, not Jesus.
Jesus is sexy.
Well, there's a line I didn't expect to hear. But this is the weirdest fucking foreplay I've ever seen. But this edit is hilarious as they're making out and Sam looks up to see Jesus looking back down at him disapprovingly.
Lift up your plate.
Do Americans just not say please? I've seen this in so many movies and TV shows. Just say please!
You asked your dad about borrowing the camera?
Please! Why don't you guys ever do it? It's one syllable, it's not that hard, it's basic fucking manners! His siblings break down over the parents separating and the acting from all involved is insane and they rightfully blame the mother.
Oh, blame your mom.
No, you do blame her! Do it again! Blame the bitch!
She's the most selfish person.
Must have been hard for her.
Yeah, I'm sure getting railed by 2 cocks at the same time was very distressing for her. It's weird though. Sammy spots the bully cheating on his girlfriend, so he decides to blurt it out and gets his ass kicked for it. The bully then forces him to tell her that he lied or he'll get his ass kicked again. Now Sammy does this, but she doesn't believe him, and then he doesn't get beaten up again. It just kind of gets forgotten about. Why does the bully let him get away with it? It is really sad towards the ending at the premiere of his latest film. Everyone is enjoying it, but he just got dumped, so he's completely heartbroken and can't have fun. It's quite amusing though. The bully is edited to look like a damn king, and he is confused and offended as to why.
Why'd you make me look like that?
Why did you make me look so good, piece of shit? I'm not sure if this part really happened, but if it did, it really shows just how professional and kind-hearted Spielberg was. There's some great dialogue by the bully.
Am I supposed to feel bad now about all that shit we did to you?
Do you feel bad?
That's none of your goddamn business.
Because you should feel bad.
All right, that's why you did it. You want me to feel like I wanted you to be nice to me for 5 minutes.
And the acting from both sides is brilliant. This bully character somehow does have a lot of underlying layers.
How would you like to meet the greatest film director who ever lived?
Well, of course I know him. He's me.
The movie is incredible. I really enjoyed it. It's a great look at the life and brilliant career of my favourite director. It's an inspiring tale to chase your dreams no matter who tells you you can't. Amazing acting across the board and a brilliantly told story. Over these reviews and this long journey, I love your ability to tell such thrilling stories in the most creative way possible. You don't always need millions of dollars to do it either. You have a knack for bringing huge results with limited means, and I just want to thank you for entertaining us for over 50 years.